tell you about the day I realized I had been paying for a car every single month for 7 years straight, and I had absolutely nothing to show for it. No title, no asset, just a drawer full of receipts and a parking space that always seemed to have something new in it. 7 years. Think about that for a second. That's longer than most relationships, longer than some people stay in a job, and every single month without fail, money left my account and went towards something I would never own. I just kept driving, kept signing, kept telling myself the low monthly payment was the smart move. That was the moment everything clicked, and once you see it, you can't unsee it. Because here's the truth about car payments that nobody puts in the advertisement. Nobody puts it on the billboard. Nobody mentions it when they're sliding paperwork across a desk and pointing to where you sign. The monthly payment is designed to make you stop thinking. It's the financial equivalent of a magician's hand. Watch this number over here. Don't look at what's happening over there. Today we're going to look at what's happening over there. We're going to follow two people through 10 years of car decisions. And by the end of this, you're going to see exactly how much a single choice, made in a showroom on an ordinary afternoon, can shape your financial life for decades. Here's a scenario that plays out every single day at car dealerships around the world. Two people walk in, same budget, same car in mind, same dream. One of them is going to make a decision that quietly costs them tens of thousands of dollars over the next decade. And the scary part? On the day they sign, the one losing money actually feels like they won. Let's set the scene properly. Both of them earn a decent living. Both of them have been saving. Both of them have done a little research online. Looked at reviews, watched a few videos, maybe even drove the same model. They're equally informed, equally motivated. The only difference is what happens in the next 20 minutes when they sit across from a salesperson and talk numbers. Person A sits down and hears this. $279 a month. 0 major repair bills. Brand new car every 3 years. Just drive it and hand the keys back when you're done. No strings, no long-term commitment. No worrying about what the car is worth in 5 years. That sounds incredible. That sounds like freedom. And in month 1, it is. Person B sits down and hears $519 a month. 60 payments. You'll owe more than it's worth for the first 2 years. That sounds like a burden. That sounds like being trapped. That sounds like the worst deal. And walking out of that dealership, person B genuinely wonders if they made a mistake. But here's what nobody tells you at the table. Freedom isn't the same thing as ownership, and those two things are, over time, do very different things to your wallet. When you lease a car, you are paying for the most expensive part of owning it. A brand new $30,000 car loses somewhere between 15 and 25% of its value in the first year alone. By year 3, it might be worth $18,000 or $19,000. That drop in value, that depreciation, is what your lease payment is covering. You are paying for the sharpest, steepest part of the decline. And at the end of it, when the car has stabilized in value and the most expensive years are behind it, you hand it back. And someone else benefits from the flatter depreciation curve that follows. That's not an accident, that's the model. Let's actually run the numbers. Same $30,000 car for both of them. Person A leases $2,000 up front, $279 a month, 36 months. Total spent? Just under $12,000. 3 years of driving. 3 years of a warranty covering almost everything that could go wrong. And at the end of it, a clean exit. No trade-in hassle. No negotiation. Just hand the keys back and walk away. Person B finances. $3,000 down, $519 a month, 60 months. By month 36, person B has spent over $21,000. The car has depreciated. At one point in year 2, they owed more on the loan than the car was actually worth. That feeling, being underwater on a depreciating asset, is genuinely uncomfortable. It shows up every time you check your loan balance and compare it to what the car would sell for. Person A is ahead by nearly $9,000. Genuinely, no tricks, no spin. On paper, 3 years in, the leaser is winning and they know it. But this is exactly where the story changes. And most people never zoom out far enough to see it. Because the comparison most people make stops at month 36. They look at the monthly payment, they look at the 3-year total, and they make their decision based on that window. But a car is not a 3-year decision. It is a 10-year decision, maybe longer. And the math looks completely different when you follow both people all the way to the end. Person A's lease ends. They walk back into the dealership, and they do what almost every leaser does. They lease again, new car, new contract, new starting line. Their payment counter doesn't stop. It resets. Another $2,000 at signing, another $279 a month, another 36 months of that new car smell and the quiet comfort of knowing that if something breaks, it's covered. What they don't think about, what is very easy not to think about, is that they have been paying for a car for 6 years now, and they are no closer to owning one than they were on day one. Person B, meanwhile, is in month 37 of 60, still paying, still frustrated when they see a newer model go by. Their car has a small scratch near the rear bumper that wasn't there 6 months ago. The warranty has expired. Last month there was a repair bill. It wasn't catastrophic, but it stung. On the surface, it looks like Person B is losing. But they have something Person A doesn't. An end date, a finish line, a specific month circled on a calendar where the payments stop forever, not pause, not reset, stop. Month 60 arrives. Person B makes their last car payment. That's it. Done. They sit in the driveway for a moment. The engine is still running. The car is theirs. Completely, legally, unconditionally theirs. From that point forward, their cost to own that car is gas, insurance, and maintenance. Maybe $150 a month on average, some months less. Some months when something needs fixing, a bit more. But the baseline is $150, not $519, not $279, $150. Person A, still at $279 every month, with no end in sight, because the end was never part of the deal. By the end of year 6, here's where things actually stand. Person A has spent around $25,000 across 2 leases. They own nothing. No asset, no title. Just a very nice car parked outside that legally belongs to someone else. If you ask them to write down their net worth and include their car, they would have to write 0 in that column, because the car is not theirs. Person B has spent around $34,000 on their loan. More on paper. But they now own a car worth roughly $11,000 to $13,000. Subtract that from their total, and their real cost is closer to $22,000. And unlike Person A, they have an asset. Something they could sell, something they could use, something that belongs to them. So Person A spent more, and has less. The flip happened quietly. No announcement, no dramatic moment. Just math, doing what math does. Compounding slowly in one direction until suddenly the gap is undeniable. And from this point forward, every single month that passes makes the gap wider. Now here's something I want you to really sit with for a moment, because this is the part that doesn't get talked about enough. From month 61 onwards, Person B's car costs them roughly $150 a month. Person A's car costs $279. That's a $129 difference every month, for as long as Person A keeps leasing, which, statistically, is the rest of their life. $129 a month is $1,548 a year. Over 10 years from that point, that's over $15,000. Money that Person B keeps, money that Person A sends to the dealership, month after month after month. And that's before we talk about the hidden costs. Here's what the $279 doesn't include. Mileage caps. Most standard leases allow 10 to 12,000 miles a year. That sounds reasonable until you find out the average person drives closer to 13,500, which means the average leaser is over their limit before the lease even ends. The overage charge is typically 15 to 25 cents per mile if you go 5,000 miles over across 3 years, which is easy to do. You're looking at $750 to $1,250 due at the moment you hand the car back. It shows up on your final bill like a surprise tax, and there is nothing you can do about it at that point. Wear and tear fees. When you return a leased car, the dealership inspects it, and I want you to understand something about that inspection. The definition of acceptable wear and tear is written by the leasing company, not by you. That small door ding from the parking lot at the supermarket, the light scuff on the alloy wheel from that one parallel parking attempt, the faint coffee stain on the back seat from 18 months ago. All of those are potentially billable. And you find out at the end, when you're standing in a lot about to hand over keys, and someone with a clipboard walks around the car making notes. Disposition fees. This one catches people completely off guard. If you return a leased car and choose not to lease another one from the same manufacturer, many leases charge you a disposition fee, typically $300 to $500, just for processing the return, just for them to take back their own car and prepare it for resale. You are literally paying them for the privilege of giving their property back. And if life gets complicated mid-lease, and life has a way of doing exactly that, there is no simple exit. Job loss, relocation, a growing family that needs a different vehicle. The lease does not care. Getting out early can cost you the entire remaining balance of the contract. You're not just locked into a payment, you're locked into a life arrangement, and the penalty for changing your mind is severe. None of these costs appear in the $279, but they appear eventually. They always appear eventually. Now I have to be fair because this isn't a black and white story, and if I only showed you one side, I wouldn't be giving you the full picture. Leasing can genuinely make sense. There are specific situations where the math tilts the other way and leasing becomes the clearly smarter choice. If you run a business and can write off lease payments as a legitimate operating expense, the tax math changes everything. Depending on how the vehicle is used and what your accountant says, you could offset a significant portion of that monthly cost. In some cases, the tax advantage alone erases the ownership gap entirely. If that's your situation, leasing deserves a serious look. If you drive a luxury or performance car, you are having a completely different conversation than someone driving a mid-range sedan. Out-of-warranty maintenance on a high-end European vehicle can be genuinely brutal. Oil changes that cost hundreds, brake jobs that cost thousands, electronics that fail in ways that require specialist dealers. When you lease, you stay inside the manufacturer warranty permanently. You never face those bills. And for certain makes and models, that warranty coverage has very real dollar value that changes the entire equation. And here is the one that people love to cite but rarely follow through on. If you are the genuinely disciplined person who takes the money you save each month by leasing instead of buying, that $240 difference, and puts it into an index fund every single month without exception, you could theoretically come out ahead over a long enough timeline. The math supports it. The discipline usually doesn't. Be honest with yourself about whether you would actually do that, or whether that money would quietly disappear into restaurants and streaming services and things you can't quite account for at the end of the month. For the average person, driving an average car, buying and holding wins. It's not the exciting answer. It won't get you a better parking spot. Nobody is going to be impressed by your paid-off 5-year-old sedan. But the math doesn't care about impressiveness. It just keeps going. Stretch this out over a lifetime, 10 years, 4 or 5 cars, a habitual leaser. Someone who leases from age 25 to age 65 can easily spend $150,000 or more on cars over their lifetime and own nothing at the end of it. Not a single vehicle, not a single asset, just 40 years of payments and a lifetime of new car smell. A buyer who finances and holds. Someone who buys a car, pays it off, drives it for years after the loan ends, and only upgrades when they genuinely need to. Accumulates something very different. Lower monthly costs, real assets, and the psychological freedom that comes from not owing anyone a car payment. Some researchers and financial planners have put the lifetime gap between a habitual leaser and a disciplined buyer at 6 figures, over an entire adult life, from one recurring decision, made over and over again in showrooms, based on a monthly number that was designed to feel affordable. The number that matters is never the monthly payment. It's the total cost when it's all finally over. It's what you own when the last payment is made. It's the question of whether that last payment ever comes at all. So the next time you're sitting across from someone at a dealership and they write a number on a card and push it toward you, pause. Take a breath. Pick up the card, look at the number, and then put it face down. Don't ask if you can afford the monthly. Ask what this car costs you in total. Ask what you'll own when it's over. Ask when the last payment is. Ask what happens if your life changes in year 2. Because one of those questions leads to a deal, the other one leads to a decision, and only one of them is actually about your future. The dealership is very good at making you feel like you're winning in the short term. That's the job. That's what the showroom lighting and the comfortable chairs and the smooth presentation are designed to do. Your job is to zoom out, to think in years, not months, to ask not just what this costs you today, but what it costs you across the entire arc of your life. You have that information now. Most people sitting in that chair don't. If this opened your eyes, share it with someone who's about to sign a lease. A friend, a family member, someone you know who is about to walk into a showroom and make a $30,000 decision based on a monthly number. It might be the most valuable thing they watch this year.